Let's be honest about some of the dumb shit we YouTube preppers and survivalists say, and I'm including myself in this. Before anyone thinks I'm just some guy talking out of his basement, let me clarify who I am. I knew I wanted to be a paratrooper medic ever since my father was stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Check that block. I graduated from rigorous training to work in the life-saving professions. I became a flight medic and went through some rather intensive high-risk survival training while I was in the Army in the 160th. I have been to war and done some other things. After active duty, I became a registered nurse, but I stayed in the Guard as a medic. Then I became a nurse practitioner. 20 years total, active duty and National Guard. I have a foundation, medical and survival skills I have mastered. Now, we sit online talking about collapse, grid failure, long-term disruption, and self-reliance. Then the gas heater stops working in the middle of winter. And what do? I Google it. My wife calls our handyman. He walks us through what to do, and he was very helpful. She opens the panel, because I am still half blind from an eye cornea transplant. I stand there holding the flashlight so she can see what's going on. Humbled and pathetic. Feeling less like the man who is supposed to be able to care for his own home. My hands are too big to even fit into the compartment anyway. So she is the one who sands down the igniter plug, because my big-ass Shrek hands couldn't get in there. That's not rugged self-sufficiency. That was me staring straight at one of my weak points. And it worked. Heat came back on. But let's not pretend that was some hardened survival moment. That was modern infrastructure plus internet access plus someone more experienced walking us through it. Take one of those away and I'm stuck. And I've got all the parts downstairs in my basement for a 2,000-watt solar generator system, the kind where you have to use 12-volt batteries and your own solar panels. And I haven't built it. Because I'm afraid I'm going to do something stupid and electrocute myself and die. Fixing shit is not my strong point. That's a gap. Then there's the EDC knife fantasy. We love showing off fancy knives. $300, custom steel, tactical this, survival that. Truth, most of us have never been in a knife fight. Most of us shouldn't want to be. My own training with a knife in the Army was basic thrusting drills with a survival knife, not some cinematic duel in the rain. Real knife violence is chaotic, ugly, and over in seconds. And if you think your polished Instagram grip is going to save you, you're lying to yourself. We act like owning gear equals competence. It doesn't. Water storage is another one. We say, store a month of water.
All right, rotating this one to check the date.
Let's do math like adults.
These hands are good for something.
Family of 3, 2 dogs.
Fresh and ready.
Minimum 4 gallons a day. Realistically closer to 5 when you include cooking, hygiene, and pets. 5 gallons times 30 days is 150 gallons. Who actually has 35-gallon jugs stacked in their house? Be honest. I've got 6 55-gallon rain barrels. Sounds impressive, right? 330 gallons. Except in the winter, they're basically decorative outdoor furniture. Frozen. Untreated. Not exactly kitchen-ready drinking water. We preach abundance online. In reality, most of us are improvising. Seeds. We love seeds. Seed banks. Heirloom packets. Vacuum-sealed apocalypse vault vibes. But how many of us can actually identify seedlings in week 2 without guessing? You plant something, it sprouts, and half the time you're staring at it wondering, is this kale or a giant weed? And sometimes it's just a giant weed. Collecting seeds isn't gardening. Gardening is failure, pests, soil management, blight, spacing, timing, and years of learning what works in your climate. You don't download that skill in a collapse. And I'll admit something else. Watching a video on YouTube and then driving by some woods and seeing plants you think you can eat does not count. I've done it. And who wants to eat plants next to a highway full of exhaust fumes? Radios. Oh, we love radios. Ham radios, Baofangs, solar chargers. But who are you actually going to talk to? If the grid goes down, do you have a network, a call sign, a schedule? Or do you just have a cool brick with an antenna that makes you feel prepared? Owning communication gear is not the same thing as having community. Emergency shelter videos. This one kills me. Today I'm going to show you how to build a survival debris hut. Meanwhile, in the background is a perfectly good house, dry, insulated, structurally sound, with a roof, plumbing, and a furnace. You know what your real shelter is? The building you already own. Your first prep isn't a tarp lean-to in the woods. It's making sure your roof doesn't leak, your furnace works, your foundation isn't cracking, your sump pump functions, your electrical panel isn't a fire hazard. If you own a home and you can't replace a faucet, patch drywall, fix a toilet, or troubleshoot a breaker, you are not collapse ready. You're one contractor away from panic. And I don't really talk about hunting because I don't care for it. I have no patience to go hunting. Fishing does not relax me. I see it as nothing but a means to procure rations to survive. And then there's the gun range culture, bench shooting, perfect sunny day, clean rifle, sandbags, controlled breathing, 5-shot groups. That's not wrong, but let's not confuse that with field competence. When's the last time you shot in the rain, in mud, with cold fingers, with fogged eye protection, after running your heart rate up? Shooting off a bench proves your rifle is accurate. It does not prove you are adaptable. Preparedness culture loves aesthetics. Plate carriers in garages, knives on wooden tables, freeze-dried meals stacked like a shrine. But real preparedness is boring. It's fitness. It's losing 20 pounds so you can move without gasping. It's fixing your sleep. It's knowing your neighbors' names. It's having savings so a job loss doesn't become a crisis. It's maintaining your car so it starts in January. It's knowing how your own furnace works before it fails. We talk about bugging out. Where are you going? Really? Do you own land somewhere else? Is it stocked? Is it accessible in winter? Have you driven the route at night, in traffic, in a storm? Or is bugging out just a fantasy that feels powerful when you say it? Preppers also love the lone wolf identity. But survival has always been tribal. You, your spouse, your kids, and 2 dogs against the world is not a strategy. It's a liability. The hard truth? Most of what we call prepping online is content. It's packaged confidence. It's exaggerated scenarios. It's worst-case framing because fear gets clicks. And yeah, I've done it too. And another thing, some of the worst behavior in this space is YouTube preppers who bash other channels to stir some shit up with the hopes of creating controversy in order to gain views. That's the reason. Not safety. Not some moral high ground. Views. They may pretend to disagree with someone. They may act outraged. They may break down some minor detail like it's the end of the world. And deep down, they could give 2 shits less about it either way. But they know controversy gets attention, so they lean into it. They make a whole video about it, call someone out, inflame it, because stirring shit up drives traffic. That's it. The other kind of preppers are the ones who base their prepping on political affiliation. Everything becomes red versus blue. Everything becomes left versus right. Listen, I'm a pretty conservative guy myself. I believe in the sanctity of all life, not just those who align with my current views. I already know that most liberal viewers probably won't be watching my content anyway, but I don't see the need to point that out. I would like to think I make prepping videos for everyone, from the preborn to the elderly, the way that God intended us to be. And let me address something else. Some of you say all these videos I make are AI because I don't talk in front of the camera. I don't film myself much for a reason. I look like a version of Shrek. I'm ugly as fuck. And when I talk about advanced trauma care, airway management, hemorrhage control, I want you focused on the information. If I use computer-generated B-roll, forgive me. My knowledge is good knowledge. If I make a video, it's me making it. If you want to see me live, I try to do a live stream on the weekends when I can. But if we're going to be real about it, the foundation isn't stockpiles. It's competence. It's humility. It's admitting that when the heater broke, we didn't heroically MacGyver it from scratch. We leaned on modern knowledge systems and outside help. That's not weakness. That's reality. Real preparedness would mean you understand your home systems. You can manage water realistically, not hypothetically. You train skills, not just buy gear. You focus on health before hardware. You build networks before radios. You garden before you hoard seeds. You shoot in less than perfect conditions. You fix what you already have before fantasizing about what you don't. And maybe the biggest hypocrisy of all? We talk about collapse like it's inevitable and permanent. But most emergencies are temporary. Storms pass. Power comes back. Supply chains recover. The people who win aren't the ones with the biggest stash. They're the ones who stay calm, adapt, and maintain what they already have. Preparedness isn't about looking tactical. It's about reducing fragility. And a lot of us, myself included, are more fragile than we like to admit. That's where the real work starts. And I will continue to make prepper videos because they are fun and I gain pleasure from doing it. Hell, I am even working on a digital survival prepper program right now. Find what you're weakest at and build from that. Ask for help. Volunteer your time to learn new skills. Pay an expert to teach you a skill you lack.
Morning, buddy.
Morning.